Hi students! Okay, I kind of want to pick up where we left off for the brochure. I know you guys are doing your lessons and some of you are doing really great, and there's just a couple of people that um, haven't completely turned them in, but overall, all of you are doing really good. So I just don't want you to lose momentum. So thinking about this brochure, I actually have it wrong here because when I was looking at, and we'll talk about it during class, but when I was looking at my little mock-up, remember my little dummy that I folded? I have the right setup in here. But this panel over here, the far right panel, is not the cover. And when we talk about it as a class, you'll see the difference. The cover actually goes in here. That's because if we're doing that double gate fold. So I'm going to do real easy. I'm going to select all. And I'm just going to bring it over one panel. And I'm holding my, you can click one at a time, pixel by pixel, with your arrow keys on your computer, or you can hold the shift key. And I believe it jumps like 10 pixels at a time. So you can tell it's a lot faster. So I'm going to put this here. And I'm actually, I know we talk about the bleed, but I'm going to have to fold right on the fold. So I'm going to come here, make sure it's all snapping. This works. This works. This works. Whoops, a little too far in. Let's start again. Direct selection tool. Boom. And here is my text. You can still align with center to center. So that should be okay. So this is the panel that it falls in. So this is my cover. Now, a lot of times when you're putting a brochure together, we talk about the text is called copy. You don't actually get all the copy that you need right away, but you need to start working on it. Or sometimes when you're working with a writer, they said, well, let me see what you can do, what you can come up with, so I know how much copy to give you or how much copy to write. Okay, well, you can do a couple of things. Well, this falls in, right? So then what we're going to do here is, okay, so let's say this panel is actually, this will be the back panel of the brochure. Okay, so we are going to leave it. We're going to, let's put a little bit of copy here. So you're like, well, what am I going to do with copy? Usually you can drop in text. It's called Greeking. So the way that you do it, sorry, my daughter's watching a video in the background. You can come in here, and I may adjust it later, but what I did a text box here, and I just did it towards the middle line, towards the middle here, middle to, this one actually went too far. Middle to center, fold to fold. So then you go up to character type, go up to type, and you fill in here with placeholder text. And you can put in here. Well, this is not going to work because you can see that it's literally sitting on the line. So all I have to do, I'm having select my direct selection tool, bring it in here, and bring it in here. So all this does, it just makes sure that this is 1/4 of an inch, right? But one of the things that I need to do this beforehand that I would do is, you can probably keep it all together, but you need a headline. Let's say that this is about, well, not a headline in this panel, but let's say here, let's say you need a call to action. Let's see. Maybe this place text one's not gonna work here because maybe it says something like, you can. I'm like making this up. We hope to see you soon. See you soon. Okay, and then this is a panel that's probably gonna take more the background of this. Let's see. I'm gonna take this color and I'm gonna Command C, Command V. No, that's not what I want. Here, the green. Command C, Command V. All I'm doing is here, Command C, Command V for pasting. I'm gonna bring the color, and I'm being a little indecisive, and I'm kind of doing it on purpose because I'm kind of going through as a designer what it would be to think about this. Obviously, I'm a little disorganized here because I'm trying to walk you guys through it. But let's see. We go in here, swatches. Give me 1 second. Excuse me. Okay. So I'm complementing what I did on the cover. It can be something different. I'm going to bleed. The bleed's going on the top and the bottom. You guys understand that? Because the bleed is gonna, the top and bottom, the color goes all the way to the edge. So here, so what am I doing? Okay, so my text box, if you said, the text box is right there, but what I want to do, I want to send this to the back. So I'm going to select that object, arrange, send to back. Okay. If I hide my guide, remember Command colon or semicolon, you can see, and if you zoom in here, you can see that this colors butt right next to each other, right? So they're like literally right there. Okay. So now think about how you're gonna set this up. I'm gonna turn on my guides again, and I'm gonna think, okay, so I want to do something cool with typography. You definitely, once you know your client, you're gonna know what type of font you're gonna be using. Do not assume that you're gonna use this font right here at size 12, this Minion Pro. Think about it. It's a call to action, right? Something we hope to see you soon as an example. Maybe I want it, remember there's no white, so paper. Hold it in paper. Look at this. My fill is white. My stroke, there's no stroke right now. And maybe I want something bold. You can see what font did we use here. We use that abolition. Okay, so let's use it here. Select that font, come up here, or to your character, remember that type character. Remember that the info that's here is pretty much the same info that's up here. So if you go to abolition, you select that font, and let's make it bigger. Because we want them to call, we want them to come to see you soon. We want to make it sound exciting, and I know I'm going way too big. But let's see, let me show you what we're going to do here. So maybe, let's try something different. So maybe we go here. We hope to see you soon. And now the soon disappeared, but if you click on the text box, remember that if you see a little red box with a little plus on the inside, that means that there's more text. Okay. So here it is. So I can go much, much bigger, right? So I don't have to use these sizes. Remember that you can literally put in whatever number you, oh, that's the kerning. Whatever number you want, the leading, sorry. And then, but, okay, and then what I do here, I select it all, and I'm going to close the leading. The leading is the space between each line. And I know it's 96 here. I'm going to make it 80. Just know it from experience because it looks a little bit, it looks better when the space is close in together. We hope to see you soon. And then maybe here, it's a logo, right? But so you see how it makes a statement. And this is one of the things that I want you to pay attention to about typography. It's just not about typing it in and using the font that is available right away. It's about thinking of ways of making it more creative. Okay, I know if you go to Pages, if you don't have Pages open, you can always go up to Window and open up your Pages here, and that's open up your Pages panel. But if you look up to, remember we set up the other side of the brochure. So when we're setting it up, you know that this is all the inside, this is all the outside of it, and this is all the inside of it. So what do we want to say about this garden? So, okay, so here's the information that I was telling you about text, where we can get creative, right? So we can do, let's say that we put in a text box. Always grab your type tool here. You come in, and I'm going to the center where the fold is. And I'm going back to type, fill with placeholder because I don't have the text. You don't have to use it like this. I'm going to show you guys what you can do. And let's see, I'm going to take, this is just a lot of copy. So I'm going to take this and hold this, call it like headline 1. You know, pretending that's the name of the text. And I'm going to come in here, and you can do a shift where you hold your shift key and a return, which what this does, it brings the line right underneath it. You see this? Or you can go return and actually give it to, it gives you the same, the same return, but if you do a shift return, you force that return, and no matter how the text changes or if it replaces, that hard return is not gonna change. And let's say, so this is gonna be a smaller version of Abolition because that's our main font. So you really don't want to use more than 2 or 3 fonts depending on what you have going on. So this time I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna show Abolition. Right, and then you know that it just got so much smaller. We know that. Okay. And then this is our little text in here, but I want to go ahead and choose this to be some kind of sans serif font. And remember, the sans serif means no feet. So make it a little bit more creative, right? So this is what you do. You go into Google Fonts, you go into this, and you just scroll to see your library to see if there's maybe something that you have that you can use. Maybe there is, maybe there's not, but this one looks like it could work. And then what I'm going to do, just because I know when you are a younger designer, you tend to do everything bigger. What I always recommend is that you print a brochure. You get samples of other brochures, and you see that the text that is in the paragraphs is actually not that big. So usually like a size 10 or 11 would work. And then what I'm doing, this extra text over here, I'm cutting it off and I'm just giving it, okay, I'm looking at this text and I'm just giving it enough spacing here. I'm thinking, okay, does this work? What am I gonna do? Am I maybe gonna put a picture here? How do I make this stand out? How do I make this stand out? So maybe what I can do, I can take a, let's say I'm creating a box, put it, this is what I recommend that you do actually. I'm going to put this on its own header. So because you want to make this stand out, you can put a color box behind it, but every time you shift, the text is going to shift, right? So that what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to bring this down because I'm like, you are the designer. How do you make this more creative? I'm going to make a text box again. I'm gonna bring it the size that I told you guys and leaving all this space around it. I'm gonna copy the headline. I'm gonna delete it from the box underneath. Okay, and then here there's a box, right? So you go to Object, Text Frame Options. And you see this information here that says inset spacing. What you're going to do, you're just creating space between the edge of the box on the left hand side, on the top and bottom. Basically, that's what you're doing. So let's say like we do 0.1825 all the way around because we have this is linked. In here, I'm going to set this to center. So that means that I want the text to center between the top and the bottom. I'm gonna click OK. Okay, well that's absolutely way too much because you can see the text disappear. So I'm gonna undo that. So I'm gonna go to Object, Text Frame Options, and in here I'm gonna do 0.10. All the way around, so it's literally like 0.1, it's at 0.1 of an inch. Center this and select OK. There we go. Now I'm going to my swatches and I'm going to choose that green that I had in here. And let's see, I go with the other green first. And then I select the font and make this white with paper. I hide my guidelines, and so here we are, right? So every time so this is your main headline, the beginning of a paragraph. How do you make that stand out, right? Now this, you Command A to select all, and then maybe over here you come up to, if you don't have it out here, go to Window and open up your paragraph, or come to Type Paragraphs and you open up that panel. Here you can do two things. So this is called Justify Left because it sits on the left hand side of the edge. This, you guys know, it's centered. This does not work in columns usually. This is Justify Right because you guys see that it sits on the far right on the edge. That's not gonna work. This is Justify. You can literally put your mouse over it and see what it's doing. This sometimes works, but it's very hard. You have to go in here individually and work with all those spaces. So it can be a little bit of a pain. So I don't usually, when you have more experience, when you get more experience, because then you see all this dashes, just M dashes. You don't really want to have that many. You want to minimize that what you actually have on your work. A lot of times you can just select all the text and then open up your character, and then maybe here on your tracking you can put like -5 return, and you see how some of that stuff got cleaned up, which is very minimal. Like the other people will not be able to tell, maybe other designers will tell, but obviously you know that it's there. So you have to decide what works best for displaying this text. The other thing that's happening with this text, we're going to pretend that this is uppercase right here, this first word. So we put a capital E. And then maybe open up the leading. So we come over here, maybe put 25. No, sorry. 18. So it's just a little bit, right? So how do you want it to read? Maybe 18 is too much, right? Maybe we put in like 16. We don't know what other elements are going to go over here. Okay? So maybe this is what you have so far. So now, as you're using the tools, you said, okay, well, this green box is not aligning properly. And you can see it because we have, everything's uniform, right? Everything is uniform. So all you have to do is grab your selection tool. Grab your selection tool and bring it all the way to the edge. So now when you hide this, look how uniform everything is. And maybe you want to start this just a little lower, give you more space between the headline and the actual copy. So you know that this is what you want to have inside as an example. Let's say that you're talking about like the arboretums as an example, and you're like garden 1, garden 2, garden 3, garden 4. So you can select it and you can repeat this by going select the top once, you hold your shift key, select the text at the bottom, select command C, command C, and then you can do like paste in place if you want it to be lined up with the other one, and then you can just come over here, and what you do you make sure that these aligns because this is where it falls. So see, this is not right. Look, and this is why I'm glad I'm doing this, guys, because look, I'm bringing this headline all the way to the folding line, and then this one said but. So what I want to do really is bring this over one, and then bring this over one as well. So now this starts in the right place and ends in the right place. So this will be headline 2. And select this one. Hold your shift key, select the bottom, copy, paste in place, hold your shift key and your arrow keys on your keyboard when you're moving this. Okay, that actually lines up perfectly. And then select copy, paste in place, and let's do the last one. Okay. there it is. This is coming like literally 1/8 of an inch here. So this is 1/8. So if you look at this, it's 1/4. But if you look at this, it's 1/8. So I need to bring this in to here. Okay, so now we come in here, select your type tool, and select 3, change this to select 4. Okay, so you know that you could work with this much space of copy right here. Okay, I'm gonna leave it right there for now, and I just don't want to overwhelm you guys, and we're gonna take it from there on the next lesson. But I know I'm covering a lot of stuff that some of you may have not already covered on your lessons. Some of you may have. I just want you guys to think creatively on how you're going to be placing elements throughout the brochure. Like when you're creating a brochure, how you're going to think through it. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later, and have a great afternoon. Okay, ciao.